guys, my name is Jane and I'm from English Department of International University in Ho Chi Minh City. And today I'm gonna talk about what? Can you guess? It's about the balance between work and university study. Okay, now let's get right into it. Follow me. I would like to introduce a little bit about myself.
Okay.
My name is Jane and I'm a freshman of English Department.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so today I want to ask you some questions. But first, can you introduce a little bit about yourself?
Okay, my name is Charles.
Yeah.
I come from the United States, from
Yeah.
California. There's in a town called Irvine, California.
So,
Right.
yeah, so as I've said to you before, we are studying English linguistics, and it means that in the future we
Yes.
want to become an English teacher.
Right.
But the thing I want to say to you is that do you think that it's necessary to go to university or just directly go to workplace?
Oh,
Because
no.
we have also some certificate from international organizations like
Okay,
IELTS.
yes.
So how do you think about that?
Well, I think it's better. I think it's definitely better to go to university because, the English is important, but it also gives you a broader perspective, So if you just go to a language school, for example, I think it's very narrow. But if you're at university, you've got a broader perspective. It's better.
And I want to say to you one thing, that here in Vietnam especially, the students, as we are, although we haven't received the certificate from university yet, because we
Right.
haven't completed
Yes.
the period, okay?
Exactly.
But we have got the IELTS. You know the IELTS?
IELTS?
It's an
No.
international English certificate.
Oh,
It's
okay.
recognized all over the world.
Oh, I see.
So we still can now. I'm working as a part-time English teacher
Okay.
in some English centers.
Right.
So do you think that studying at university is still meaningful for me besides getting a job?
I would say honestly, it depends on what you want to do. If you just want to work in an English, let's say Vietnamese English type of job where you can do translations and stuff like that, yes, then. But if you want to do something else later on besides that, I still think it's better to go to university.
You mean like if we just want to live a normal life as an English teacher, so we
Yeah.
can just stop at some kind of normal level. But
Yes.
if we want to have some kind of promotion or
Yeah,
some
right.
advance in the future,
Sure,
so
sure.
we need to go deep.
I think it's definitely for the future. You always have to think about the future. For the young people like you guys, you really have to think about the future, right?
That's the thing. And one more last question.
Right.
So now, as I said to you before, we all work part-time. Yeah.
Right.
So can you give me some methods that we can balance between our study and our work life?
Okay, and you work part-time.
Yeah.
And what kind of part-time work do you like?
English tutors or
Okay,
teachers.
yes. So what I would say part-time, continue with speaking as much English as you can, right? Try to find people that want to learn English, even if it's children, teach them English all the time, right? So do that as part-time work. But in your part-time work, try to speak English as much as you can.
So thank you for you. Can you please introduce yourself?
So my name is Elena Cecchetto. I'm originally from Italy, and I'm here in Vietnam with my husband Emanuele, and we are both.
Yeah.
Hello.
So how long have you been in Vietnam?
So we arrived 3 days ago.
Yep. So today I would like to talk to you about university. So you know that after we finished our general education, Vietnam is about 12 years. We move on to university. Do you
Okay.
think that is it necessary to join university or maybe work directly is better?
Okay, so my husband and I, we are both university professor. So I teach Italian, and my
Yeah.
husband he teaches history.
Yeah.
It really depends on the personal experience,
Yep.
personal ideas. If someone, it shouldn't be something mandatory to go to the university. I really think that a person should follow their own ideas, their own project. So yes, but for sure it would be interesting to have students to go outside, abroad, and
Yeah.
to experience other cultures.
Yeah.
Because we moved from Italy to Canada.
Yeah.
So I was born in Rome, and then after the marriage, I moved to Canada
Yeah.
to teach there. So I met a lot of international students. I teach also to international students. So
That's it.
yes, exactly.
So I move on you. So our major at university is English linguistics. It means that in the future we will become English teacher maybe.
Okay.
But when
Here in Vietnam.
Yeah, here in Vietnam. But when I apply for some part-time jobs as a teacher in some English centers, the
Okay.
thing that I find most intriguing is that they don't ask you like where your university degree is. They just ask you kind of some international certificate in English, like IELTS, SAT,
TOEFL.
TOEFL. Yeah. So, do you think that once we have got that problem, is necessary to go to university when we still get a job with our IELTS?
That's a good question. So you mean that they
They don't require
they
you.
don't recognize your degree, the Vietnamese degree, your degree in Vietnamese university
Yeah.
when you apply for jobs,
Yeah.
even here in Vietnam.
Yeah.
That's so. Even organizations who are Vietnamese, these organizations, or they're foreigners. I mean, they're foreign organizations.
They were set up by Vietnamese teachers.
Okay, that's strange that they don't recognize your Vietnamese degree.
Yep, like
I mean, it seems illogical, and it seems it's
but you know, because IELTS is such an international certificate, so it's recognized all over the world. So yeah, there's no reason that they need to ask more about your Vietnamese university degree. Do you think so?
But do you have the IELTS
Yep.
certificate?
Yeah.
Which school did you attend? Did you
I-
finish your like a high school or?
Yep, I did finish high school.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure why they are requiring, they're requesting the university degrees. So I'm not familiar with this problem.
Yeah.
But I think as long as you know the general rules, what you should teach, for the IELTS courses and everything, should be enough. Yes, I don't think should be something mandatory to go to attend the university.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you, when I said to you that I'm freshman, but I still kind of working as an English teacher part time. So can you tell me some methods that I can balance between work and my study at university?
so. Your how many years is university here in Vietnam? First of all, I mean, how many years do you have to do to?
4 years to complete.
4 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like in Italy,
Yeah.
It's like in Canada too.
Canada. Yeah.
So what you're doing is that you are studying full time and working part time, right?
Yeah.
How to balance the two?
Yeah.
Good question. I did that. It's not easy, but I mean, the thing is when you work, well, money is always important, right? So and you need to fund your studying too. But you have to bear in mind that your long-term project is to graduate, right?
Yeah.
So you don't. The important thing is not to have your work, your job, get into the way of your study. So if you're studying, if your work is impacting you negatively, your studying, right? Because you're too tired, and it definitely. It definitely, I mean, impacts also your future projects.
Yeah. Okay.
And therefore, you need to find a balance, and there's no recipe. Everyone is very personal, right?
Yeah.
So they may
That's it.
depend on the job and may depend on you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And
No
one
worries.
last question for you. You know that I have a thinking like, do you think that it's necessary for me to learn to get an excellent degree of university, or just kind of learn normally and then get a job? Because you know that it's not kind of worth studying to get an excellent degree of university, because now I still get a job, so it's necessary to keep excellence or just
Well-
normally pass it.
Okay, so having lived in Italy and in Canada and having traveled a lot all around the world, it really depends. It's really up to you. If you want to open for yourself more opportunities, if you want to move away also from Vietnam, let's suppose you want to go to Europe in the future, or let's suppose you want to go to the United States, okay, to America, it will be worth it to get a university degrees, because in this way, this is the minimum requirement, the minimum thing that they require to you to to access the job market. But again, it's really a personal vocation. Yes, it's really a personal aspiration. It's really up to you. But from my point of view, would be I would suggest